Hi, I'm Lisa Irish and I collect action figures. If I told you my love of action figures started with this, I'd be lying. It actually started years before with this. In the 1990s, it turned to this and this. And now it's mainly Star Wars and Marvel Legends. When we worked in New York City, my husband John would come home each weekend with these great comic books. I loved the storylines in there, and I wanted to do something a little creative with it, so I got into the action figures because then I could create my own scenes and set them up in shelves all around our house. Back then, you could find action figures everywhere. But one thing you did have to do was you had to drive around a lot to find what you were looking for. Sometimes we would take trains into New York City for his favorite comic shops, or sometimes I would hit up our favorite comic shop in New Jersey and see if I could find what I was looking for. Mostly, you kind of figured out what was going to be coming out action figure-wise in your Wizard comic magazine, and also through the few websites that really talked about it back then. Raving Toy Maniac and Galactic Hunter. Now things are different. Pretty much you order most of your action figures online. The hard part is that you don't have that fun thing you got to do in the stores where you got to compare the action figures side by side to see who had the best face printing. When I'm trying to figure out what I'm looking for and what's coming out, I go to Yak Face's Instagram page to find out what's happening in Star Wars. If I want to know what's coming up soon for Marvel, I'll go to Rectangular's YouTube videos because he has really great news there. And then every day after work when I get home, I'll check Marvelous News. And as my kids got older, I shared my action figures with them that I kept in a box in the closet. And I would dole them out a few at a time to see, what they were interested in and to see how that would go. Toys are meant to be played with. They're not investments. So when your kids play with them, you're gonna be missing things like arms, like legs, like heads. As my kids got older, we started looking for the action figures they were interested in. It was Spider-Man. It was all different sorts of stuff like that. I really didn't get back into action figure collecting until more like 2014 when Star Wars Rebels came out. I had loved Clone Wars and all of that, but Rebels just really, I don't know, hit me in the heart. I just really loved that story, and I could pick up a few $7 action figures while I was out food shopping. What I really wish is that there was a website or something for women action figure collectors, and maybe that sounds silly, but we kind of have a little bit of a different focus. If we're not moms, we're daughters. We've got some focus on our family, whether it's kids or taking care of our parents. We don't have maybe quite as much money to be throwing at our hobby as some of the fellas do. It's neat to see that they can buy two figures, one that's going to stay mint in the box and one that they're going to display. But for me, it's always going to be just one to display. We have to kind of fit in our hobby in a way that makes sense for us, but also doesn't mess up what our real priorities are, which is pretty much our family and what our family needs. And one of the calmest, nicest times for me is at the end of the day, just before I go to bed, I can take a few minutes just to myself, So those few minutes can be me going through the websites, scrolling through my wish list of figures that may be coming out in the next year, going through my database to see which of these figures that are coming out that I may already have one of that I just have forgotten. It would be really nice just to have that group of women friends to just kind of touch base with and talk about what we're excited about, what we're looking forward to, but also those little things about what's going on in our lives right now. Because as you get older, you have a lot going on, but you still need that support that you have from your friends when you're younger. And sometimes as you get older, because of different commitments and things, some of your friendships drop away. So having that little place where you can go and just talk to a bunch of like-minded people who share your hobby gives you that extra little bit of support And sometimes that little support is just what you need.